For more on this, I'm joined now by Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangaree, who spoke to us following his own visit to Tumbler Ridge this week. Hi, Minister. Good to see you. Thank you very much for making the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ashley.
I mentioned there in the introduction that, right in the wake of what happened, you traveled along with Premier Eby to Tumbler Ridge. What are you walking away from that experience thinking about now?
Look, I think I'm like anyone who's visited the small town of 2,500 people. Just the enormous loss. Everyone is impacted by what happened. Everyone knew the individuals that were killed or their family members. And within this deep level of despair and agony, there's enormous stories of teachers that saved their children, their students, first responders, RCMP, who were there within 2 minutes and likely saved many other lives, and other first responders who were pivotal in ensuring that the incident was contained. Canadians are resilient, and people of Tumbler Ridge, their lives are tough. Many of them work in the mine, so they know what difficulty is, but nobody would have imagined on the day, Tuesday, when they send their kids to school, that they wouldn't come back.
Yeah, just in that vein, I think you're absolutely right to point out that, in that moment, every parent put themselves in the parent's shoes, right? In those unimaginable shoes, and started, being stressed or worrying about the prospect of something we all feel, and those parents must have felt was safe, right? The idea that your kid gets up in the morning and goes to school. Even though this happens more frequently in the States, you don't think it's going, I think it's fair to say, you don't think it's going to happen here. What is your message to parents who have that apprehension right now about sending their kids to school this week?
My message to parents is, look, hold them tight this weekend, hold them tight, talk to them, because some of them may be trying to figure out, may have fears and apprehensions. There are supports. Kids Helpline is available if parents need supports, as well as 988 and other local supports in your community.
The perpetrator was, through what the RCMP has disclosed, well known to police. What does that say to you, Minister?
There are a number of questions, Vashi, that are outstanding. There are a number of questions that the RCMP, I know, will complete its investigation and share with Canadians, including the type of firearms that were used. There are a number of questions that have been posed to me where, where I say, for the moment, it is about the grieving process. It's about supporting the community. I'm sure the families impacted, the parents, the students themselves, who will, carry this scar for the rest of their life, will have many questions and would want answers. And my commitment is to be there to give and provide those answers.
Yeah, I completely take your point on, obviously, lots of unanswered questions in the investigation, and certainly the priority for Canadians right now is joining those who are in mourning in their grief. I think, like you say, though, there are, particularly against the context of, or in the context of trying to ensure this is as isolated as you say it is, right? Questions about how this came to be, and in particular, if the perpetrator did have these known mental health issues, as has already been publicly disclosed by the RCMP, how they ended up having the access to the weapons that they did. I don't know if you have answers on that, but is it a question that you are focused on? Do you anticipate the federal government will be in receipt of that information anytime soon?
I'm focused immediately on supporting the community, supporting the families, and being there for Tumbler Ridge. As information comes out from the RCMP, who are conducting their investigation on a range of issues, including the type of firearms that were used, and other issues that may or may not be relevant to the investigation, we will be able to respond, and at the same time, some of those questions may be more structural and may require a broader set of measures, similar to the Mass Casualty Commission report and investigation that took place in the Maritimes. But ultimately, I think each one of these incidents, as horrific as they are, we need to learn from them.
I'll leave it on that note, Minister. Thank you very much for making the time. I appreciate it.